Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, I still haven't looked at my webcam. I've just been so busy, so here we are again. And here's Hunter, my dog, who decided to jump on my knee whilst I started this, because of course he did. So I hope this is okay again. Like I said, I probably need to get a new one, to be honest. Let's face it, but we try, don't we, I suppose? So the case that I'm going to be looking into today is the case of Nancy Galvani. In August of 1982, the body of a woman was found floating in the San Francisco Bay, bound, hidden in a sleeping bag, and she was actually weighed down with a cinder block. Now, as it turns out, this body that was found was actually 36-year-old Nancy Galvani. She was a social worker and a mother of one. Her daughter was called Allison. Her death would be one of California's longest unsolved murder mysteries, and it would go cold, it would disappear from the limelight, it would just, you know, as a lot of these cases do. And it's really annoying because it is one of the most simplest cases. When you actually look at it and get into it, it just boggles the mind how it was unsolved for so long. And despite it disappearing from everyone else's view, it never actually disappeared from her daughters, which was Allison. And she continued to fight for this. She really did. And, well, in the end, it worked. So Nancy Galvani was born around 1945. She was really well known for being compassionate. Hi, Tiggs. And just her job and everything revolved around helping others. So that's the kind of lovely person that she was. She also adored her daughter. And she, by sort of 1982-ish, she needed protection herself. Tigger, please. Tigger, come on. No, Tiggs, you can't. You can't go there. Ouch. You're stabbing me. Ouch. Tigger. Ow. Okay, you could. You can't stand in front of the camera, can you? Okay, stabby, stabby. Ouch. Stop it! Tigger! Okay, you can move that way. Nancy Galvani was married to a man called Patrick. He was born in 1943, around about there. And basically they got together, they had their child together, but their marriage had started to deteriorate, were the point as well where Patrick was known to be getting aggressive. Nancy was written down in her diary at one point that he'd literally held... So the daughter had seen this as well, had seen them fighting. She came in once and Patrick was on top of Nancy. Yeah, so their marriage was deteriorating. She had filed for a restraining order apparently, and they were going to get a divorce. And apparently at one point it was said in her diary that he held a pillow over her face. And like I said before I got interrupted, the dog is what interrupted me. My apologies. Hunter, stop it. Her daughter actually came in and he had his knees on top of her arms, stopping her from doing anything. And, you know, it was just getting out of control, basically. So she wanted a divorce and he was saying no divorce, no divorce. I think that's what he was saying then. He didn't want a divorce. And she wanted to file for custody for her daughter. On the 9th of August in 1982, Nancy had arranged with Patrick to go and pick up Allison, who was 5 years old at that point. He basically told her that he would never bring their daughter to her, that she always had to come and pick her up if she wanted her. And then she vanished. She was never seen alive again. I say vanished. The very next day her body was found in her own sleeping bag. I think she was partially nude or was fully nude, I'm not sure. Weighed down, obviously deceased. So, who done it? That was the question on everyone's mind. When the fisherman found her, she wasn't fully nude. She had her underwear on, I believe. And obviously her body went off for examination, and it it came back that she'd been strangled. Now, it didn't take long and Nancy's car was found, which was an Apollo, and guess what it was? It was in Patrick's garage. It wasn't hidden away, it wasn't burnt out, it wasn't anything. It was just sat chilling in Patrick's garage, which is a husband, obviously. So they figured, yeah, it's Patrick, okay, so they arrested him, but then prosecutors didn't have any evidence. There were no witnesses, there was no nothing, there was no alibis, there was no literally anything, no forensic evidence, so they couldn't really charge him. It was just too weak to win. Basically, Alison ended up being a sort of alibi for Patrick. When she was little, she called her mum Mummy, but she always was told to call her dad Pat, right? And she also, I don't know if it was her uncle or his uncle, I assume it was her uncle, was also called Pat. So, her dad said that she was staying at Pat's overnight and she didn't want to. So, she's in this interview saying, can you come and pick me up? I don't want to stay. So he's like, yeah, okay, I'll pick you up. Anyway, later on he rings and says, Pat says to her, his car's broke down, he can't come and get you. She said, well, can't you get a taxi? And he was like, no. So she ended up staying the night, right? So when she told police officers and whatever else that she was at Pat's, they assumed, I think, that it was her dad, that she was at her dad's because she called her dad Pat. But she wasn't. She was at this other guy's house all night long. So as a big result of that, there wasn't really sort of too much suspicion on Patrick because Alison was his alibi, and there you go. So anyway, Alison never gave up. She thought that with everything she'd seen and how her dad was being aggressive, that, you know, he probably killed her. He even said as well, I don't know if it was to her, but he literally said he didn't kill her, but he was going to. He was going to kill her like the next day, but someone beat him to it. So he claimed that he didn't do it. Anyway, we finally had a break in the case in 2025, not that long ago. And it was finally officially reopened and Patrick has been arrested. He's now 81 years old. And it's on suspicion of his wife's murder 43 years later, which is absolutely crazy. So they said that there's new evidence in the case and a new development. It's not DNA based, so I don't really know what it is, but they have this new evidence and they're now confident that they can get Patrick and send him down for what he did to his wife all those years ago. His attorney said that, you know, it's just unfounded, it's stupid, well, not stupid, but you know what I mean, and that it's just that they've repackaged old evidence as new evidence. So I guess we'll see, like the trial is waiting. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this case up because it's been in the news. Someone actually suggested it to me. I've not seen a lot of videos on it actually, so I found it very interesting. There's not a lot of information out there, but it just goes to show that even after all those years, that cases can be solved. Like Alison had just kept fighting and fighting and fighting, and sometimes it shows that the person that was left behind is the one that keeps the truth alive and keeps going and going and going. And maybe one day all these old cases that have been unsolved for so long can finally be solved and get a conviction, which is just amazing. So yeah, we will see what happens. I'm going to be keeping up to date with this one. I had not really heard of it before. So yeah, that is the end of this video. Sorry it's in this format again, and sorry all of the cats and dogs are all over me. I'm telling you, I should change my name to Critters and Crime or whatever I said, because every time I do something, they're all here. And I don't know why, because they don't seem to do it when I'm on my webcam. But as soon as the phone comes out, that's it, they're here. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.